Welcome to Students Incorporated. I'm your host, Mr. Jason. Join me weekly as my students and I bring you content that's informative, positive, fun, and uplifting. This podcast is created and produced with the help of students from the International Community School of Bangkok. Let me ask you a question. You're out shopping in Bangkok and you have a choice to make. Do you step into a brightly lit store in the Siam Mall, drawn in by the promise of a brand new trendy shirt for just a few hundred baht? Or do you spend your afternoon treasure hunting in a thrift shop, searching for that one-of-a-kind piece that no one else will have? This isn't just a simple choice, it's a decision that connects your wallet, your values, and your identity. The world of fast fashion offers us speed, convenience, and the ability to participate in global trends. It's a massive part of modern youth culture, but that convenience comes with questions. The low cost on the price tag often hides a much higher price paid by our planet and by the people in the factories. That's the ethics of it. Can we feel good about what we wear if we don't know the story behind it? On the other side, there's the growing culture of thrifting. It's sustainable, it champions individuality, and it's often lighter on the wallet, but it has its own challenges. It takes time, patience, and a bit of luck. So, this is our topic today, fast fashion versus thrift culture in Bangkok. We're not here to say one is good and one is bad. We're here to have an honest conversation about the pros and the cons of both. We'll explore the real cost, the complex ethics, and the vibrant culture surrounding the clothes we choose to wear every single day. Today, I'm joined by co-host Proud and Esther and our show's student producer Highlight. But before we try to fix the global clothing industry, let's hear our quote of the day and get some headline news.
Our quote of the day comes from the journalist Lucy Siegel, who cuts straight to the heart of this issue. She said fast fashion isn't free. Someone somewhere is paying. I think that's so important because it forces us to look past the price tag. That price is paid by the environment, absorbing chemicals and textile waste. It is paid by garment workers, often in unsafe conditions for very little pay. And in a way, we pay for it too, by filling our closets with low-quality clothes that we have to replace over and over again. It really challenges us to think about what affordable truly means. And that's our quote of the day. Now onto some headline news.
That quote is a perfect lead into what's happening in the news, because the real cost of fashion is making major headlines globally. I've got 3 stories for you today that shows just how big this conversation has become. First up, from Reuters. The headline states, EU finalizes pay-to-waste rules for fast fashion brands. In a major move this month, the European Union has locked in its new environmental policy that will make clothing companies financially responsible for the entire life cycle of their products. This means brands, not taxpayers, will have to pay for the collection and recycling of textile waste. This is seen as a direct challenge to the business model of producing huge volumes of low-cost clothing. Second, a story from The Guardian reads, new report accuses ultra-fast fashion giants of widespread labor violations. An international labor rights watchdog released its annual report this past week, and it specifically calls out several major online retailers for failing to ensure minimum wage and safe working conditions in their supplier factories. The report highlights the human cost that gets hidden behind those trendy, low-price items we see advertised all over social media. And finally, on the other side of the coin, a headline from Forbes shows the power of the alternative. The headline states, secondhand market sees explosive 25% growth in Southeast Asia, led by Gen Z. A new market analysis report shows that the online thrifting and resale market is booming in our region. It credits younger customers who are prioritizing sustainability, unique personal style, and affordability. It shows a clear cultural shift where used is now seen as not just acceptable, but fashionable. So, from our new government regulations to ethical concerns and the rise of thrifting, it's clear this is a massive global conversation. And that's our headline news for this episode. Thank you.
Esther, thanks for the news roundup. It really sets the stage. Let's bring this conversation into our own closets and start with the giant in the room, fast fashion. For this first part, I want us to break down its pros and cons. So let's start positive. What are the pros? Why is fast fashion so incredibly popular? When you walk into a big brand store in Bangkok, what is the immediate appeal? I'll open that question up to anybody.
I think the most obvious thing is the price, right? It's the accessibility. You can have a small budget, maybe what you have for the week, and you can still walk out with something brand new. If you have a last minute event or a party to go, you can solve your, oh, I have nothing to wear problem in 30 minutes, less than 500 baht. It's an instant solution.
And it's the variety. It's not just one style. You can walk into one store and find 10 different aesthetics. You can experiment with who you want to be that day. One rack has a dark academic look, the next has bright, colorful Y2K fashion. You don't have to commit to a style because nothing costs very much. It's like a fashion playground.
I agree with both of those points, and also with Proud. There's a real dopamine hit that comes from it. The feeling of walking out of a store with a bag with something new and fresh that didn't break the bank. It makes you feel like you're participating, like you're current. It's a very powerful feeling.
That's a great point about being current. It brings me to the social factor. How much of this is driven by social media? Proud, do you feel there's pressure to keep up with the styles you see on TikTok or Instagram?
Oh, absolutely. It's immense. You see these haul videos where someone bought 20 new items and trends moving at lightning speed now. Something is cool for 3 weeks and then it's over. If you see your favorite influencer wearing a certain type of top, you feel this pressure, this FOMO, fear of missing out. To have it too, fast fashion brands are brilliant at spotting a trend on Monday and having it in their stores in Bangkok by Friday.
And the algorithms feed it to you constantly. Once you click on one fashion video, your entire feed is full of these micro trends. It creates a sense of urgency that's completely manufactured. It makes you feel like your current wardrobe is outdated, even if you just bought something last month. It's a cycle that's hard to get out of.
Okay, so it's affordable, it's trendy, and it's constantly in our faces. But let's flip the coin. Esther, you mentioned the news about labor ethics. Let's start the cons there. How much should we be thinking about the people who make our clothes?
I think it's the biggest con because it's so easy to ignore. The supply chains are designed to be out of sight, out of mind. We don't see the factories or the people working in them. But that low price tag has to come from somewhere. It comes from paying workers incredibly low wages, from cutting corners on safety, and demanding impossible production speeds. When a t-shirt costs less than your lunch, you have to ask, who's paying the real price for it?
Oh, that's a powerful question. Highlight or Proud, is this something that crosses your mind when you're shopping?
It does, more and more. It makes you feel a bit guilty, to be honest. You're standing there with this trendy top in your hand and you get a flash of the stories you've heard, and then you have this internal debate. Sometimes convenience wins, and you feel bad about it later.
And of course, beyond the human cost, there's the massive environmental cost. What comes to mind for you when you think about the impact of producing so many clothes so quickly?
It's staggering. I was looking this up for the show, and the numbers are just crazy. According to the UN Environment Program, something like 60% of our clothing is now made from plastics like polyester. So we're literally wrapping ourselves in fossil fuels. And every time we wash them, they shed microplastics. The Ellen MacArthur Foundation estimates that 500,000 tons of these plastic microfibers end up in the ocean every year, just from us doing our laundry. That's the equivalent of more than 50 billion plastic bottles. Then, you have natural fibers like cotton, which have their own issues too. A report from the World Wildlife Fund, WWF, states that it can take over 2,700 liters of water to produce the cotton needed for a single t-shirt. That's enough drinking water for one person for almost 3 years. And maybe the most shocking part is the waste. The scale is hard to comprehend, but that same Ellen MacArthur Foundation report says that globally, the equivalent of one garbage truck full of textiles is landfilled or burned every single second. It's just creating these mountains of trash.
I found some other shocking news. An agency in France put out a report with images from the Atacama region in the country of Chile. This place became one of the world's biggest dumping grounds for unsold and used fast fashion. It looks like a massive landfill of clothes. The piles are so vast that they say you can now see the pollution stain from space. Seeing that, knowing it's real. makes it impossible to forget. It's not just a landfill, it's a monument to our overconsumption.
Yeah, let's bring it back to our own experience then, which is maybe an easier con to see day to day. What about the quality? Have you all had that experience of buying a fast fashion item that you loved only for it to fall apart a few weeks later?
All the time, it's almost a universal experience. You wash a shirt once and it shrinks half to its size, or the seam on a dress unravels the first time you wear it out. It feels like you're renting clothes rather than buying them.
Exactly, I bought this really cute top once, wore it out, washed it carefully, and it came out with 3 small, mysterious holes in it. It was completely unwearable. It's frustrating because it feels so wasteful.
And that's part of the model. It's not a flaw, it's a feature. The clothes are not designed to last. They are designed to be replaced. So while you saved money on that one item, you end up spending more over time because you constantly have to buy new things to replace the old ones that fell apart.
That's the concept of cost per wear. A 300 baht shirt you only wear twice actually costs you 150 baht each time you wear it. A better quality 900 baht shirt that you can wear for years might end up costing you just 10 baht per wear. The cheaper item is often the more expensive one in the long run.
So there's a clear conflict between the immediate reward of fast fashion, the low price, the trends, and the significant long-term cost to people, the planet, and even our own wallets. It's a lot to think about. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back after this PSA.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We've talked a lot about the mountains of textile waste from fast fashion, but let's bring it closer to home. What happens when your favorite shirt, the one you wore on that perfect beach trip, gets a tiny tear or a button pops off? Our first instinct, the one we've been taught by a replace everything culture, is to sigh and think, well, it's ruined. Do you toss it? We've become so used to seeing clothes as disposable, but it doesn't have to be that way. That small hole is an opportunity, not a death sentence for your garment. That's why we're introducing the Repair Don't Replace pledge. It's a simple promise to yourself to try fixing it first. Think about it, a quick YouTube tutorial can teach you a basic stitch in 5 minutes. Mending a hem or sewing on a button is a small act of defiance against the cycle of waste. When you repair something, you do more than just save money. You honor the materials, the labor of the person who made it, and the memories you made while wearing it. You can even turn a repair into a style statement. A cool patch or some colorful visible stitching can make your old favorite truly one of a kind. Give your clothes a second chance. You might even find a relaxing new hobby. Repair it, wear it, love it longer.
And we are back. In the first half, we broke down the complex world of fast fashion. Now let's switch gears and talk about the alternative, thrifting. While fast fashion has its hold, thrifting is really starting to take off and is growing big time here in Bangkok. What's making it so popular? I mean, it's not just about finding a bargain, right? Esther or Proud, any thoughts on why people are jumping on this bandwagon?
I think a big part of it is that people are becoming more aware of how bad fast fashion is for the environment. After hearing stats like the one highlight shared, thrifting feels like you're actually doing something good. You're saving clothes from ending up in a landfill, which is a huge deal. You're not just buying something new, you're giving an existing item a second life. That feels like a win.
Totally. And it's also something unique about its factor. When you're thrifting, you're looking for something that's rare or has its own history. It's like hunting for treasures. You're almost guaranteed to walk out with something that none of your friends will have.
Can you give us an example, Esther? What's the best treasure you've ever found thrifting?
Oh, that's easy. Once I found this amazing, perfectly worn in denim jacket from the 80s at the Bangkok market. It has this cool faded bland patch on its back. It's better made than any new denim jacket I could buy today. And it has its own character. The thrill of finding that perfect piece after an hour of searching, it's like winning the fashion lottery.
For sure, Esther, and that ties into the cool factor. It's not cheap shopping anymore. People are proudly posting their thrift finds on Instagram and TikTok with the hashtag #ThriftFlip. It's become a status symbol to show off your unique style. It says, look at me, I'm sustainable, I'm creative, and I don't follow trends. Gen Z is definitely leading that charge.
And there's a whole subculture of thrift flipping now. People will go to market, buy an oversized men's shirt or a pair of jeans that don't quite fit, and then they take them home and completely remake them. They'll crop the shirt, add new details or tailors to the jeans into a modern style. It's incredibly creative and entrepreneurial. It's not just consuming fast fashion, it's participating in it.
And that's a fantastic point. It's like becoming your own designer, but it's not all treasure hunts and creative projects. Let's talk about the cons. What are some realities of thrifting that people might not see on social media? Esther?
The biggest one is time. Thrifting isn't the instant gratification that fast fashion gives you. You can't just walk into the shop like Chatuchak Weekend Market and expect to find something perfect in 5 minutes. It can be overwhelming. It's a real scavenger hunt. Sometimes you strike gold, but a lot of times it's a lot of thrifting through stuff that has been stained, damaged, or even just not your style. You need to practice and take your time.
Okay, and let's be real. There's the ick factor for some people, like me. The idea of wearing clothes that a stranger wore can be a hurdle. And sometimes the clothes have, a certain smell. You absolutely have to wash everything as soon as you get home. Sizing is another big one. It's all over the place. A medium from 1995 is not the same as a medium today.
Exactly, Proud. And as thrifting has become cooler and more commercialized, the prices are creeping up. Resellers will go into thrift stores, clear out all the best vintage and brand name items, and then sell them on Instagram for 5 times the price. This gentrification of thrifting means it can be harder to find a real bargain, and it can price out people who rely on secondhand stores for truly affordable clothing, not just for fashion.
That is such an important point. It adds a whole new ethical layer into thrifting too.
So even the solution has its own set of complex problems. It seems the perfect answer isn't so simple. We've talked about the good, the bad, and the complicated. What's the final takeaway here then?
I think it's about the balance and intention. Maybe you don't stop buying new things entirely, but you commit to making your first choice and a secondhand one. Or you learn one basic mending skills like we talked about in the break. It's about shifting the mindset from more is better to better is better.
And it's not about being perfect. It's about being more aware. Every time you make a conscious choice, whether it's thrifting, repairing something, or just buying less overall, it's a step in the right direction. We're all learning, and that's what counts.
All right, that's a fantastic summary, so thank you for that. It's clear that whether we're in the mall or a market, being a conscious consumer is what truly matters. It makes me think of a certain phrase, know your clothes so your clothes know you. And that phrase really means something. The first part, knowing your clothes, is a call to action. It's about understanding their whole story. It's asking those questions we've discussed today. What did this come from? Or where did this come from? And what are the ethics behind it? Was it made of? And what was the environmental cost? How can I care for it and make it last? And the second part, so your clothes know you, that's the reward. When you make those conscious choices, your wardrobe stops being just a random collection of disposable trends. It starts becoming a real reflection of who you are. Your clothes begin to tell your story, align with your values, and carry meaning. They become a true part of your identity. It's the ultimate shift from the mindless consumption to dressing with purpose. And that's all the time we have for today's look into the world of fashion, both the fast and the secondhand kind. We've covered a lot, from the convenience and trends of fast fashion to the ethics, sustainability, and unique treasures of thrifting. The biggest takeaway is that every choice we make about our clothes is a chance to dress with purpose. A huge thank you to my co-hosts Proud and Esther, and to our wonderful producer and guest, Highlight, for adding to an insightful conversation. And of course, thank you to all of you for listening. We hope this sparks some reflection on the choices you make when it comes to your own clothes. If you enjoyed the episode, please be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss our next episode. You can also follow us on Instagram at Students Incorporated for extra content. And as always, this podcast would not be possible without the hard work and support of our international student production team.
All music and sound effects are courtesy of Pixabay.com, a vibrant community of creatives sharing copyright-free images, videos, and music.
And we are signing off until next time. We are Students Incorporated, because your voice matters.